go to autograph here. Did you guys watch the game at all?
Yes.
I heard some of it in passing, but I didn't get to see any of it.
Okay, Alexa, you can stop now. Thank you. Alexa, stop. I think you have to be more direct. Hey, everybody. Becky and Pete, good day in NWI. I have David Lane helping. Miss you a lot. And then Ron is on now because at 7, the games were going, so it was halftime. And the snow has really kind of put a transformation on our show tonight, because we usually go to the studio in Munster with Pete, and I don't know if he's on now, but I didn't want anybody driving, so I thought, you know what, maybe we do this remote with the restream. And I called David, and he's like, I'm home, and Ron's home, but with technology, we're all together on a social. So what are we on, David? Where are we streaming?
So we are currently streaming on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, also known as X, and on Twitch.
Man, you're good.
Wow, that's a lot.
Then after we do this, I go and start sharing to groups. And you know what I noticed? So Facebook is saying that we have such excellent content. Not only are they sharing with others, but within the show, I watched it back, and they're putting other people's ads on. And I'm like, wow, we must be getting really good. I think we had 25,000 when I was in Miami for that game on some streams down there. Yeah, because I'm getting, Lauren said the word. When you go into the pages and you can see all of your stats, I got a message that we were at 25,000, and I'm like, whoa. So we've got lots of good news. We're in Northwest Indiana. We talk about not only here, but the state, the country, and the world. A lot of the topics transcend each other. And we've been doing this a couple of years. If you were listening earlier, besides getting ready for the show, we were also working on, we have the web board, Business After Hours from 4 to 7 on Wednesday. We have a Valentine's party show and market on the 1st of February. That's next Sunday. And then that's Friday, we have a call out. And this is really exciting because there's a lot of energy with the proposition of the Bears coming here. And whether or not they come, it's making us all think of what we can do here. So we have a sportstainment professional offering happening this summer. So that's what I've been busy with all day, with being inside. But I'm grateful that we're able to do this, even though there was the weather in our usual show format. But we're here now. We're going to talk to Ron Seman, who I've known for many years because we both grew up in Whiting. And he's lived out in Chesterton, so I welcome you. And somebody, Dominica, who's coming Sunday, she goes, how do you know him? And I said, well, from Whiting. And then I coached your son because she's making the cakes for his wedding.
Yes.
Small world. Small world.
She's a big hiker.
And David was like, well, who's the guest tonight? And I'm like, well, I know he's a hiker. And I call you pastor because you have a lot of that in your messaging. And then you're a tech guy because of the ability to do all this because of your involvement in some technology early in your life. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I was always involved in computer science. And in 1984, I invented something that most people probably use today, and it's a navigation system. It's based on the original Apple Macintosh. And so I won't go into all the details, but it's on ronseman.com, ronseman.com. So I had a great technical background. I also, because of that financial blessing, I was able to start a ministry. And so since about 1988, I've been doing my ministry, and it spans around the world through technology. But I do a lot of things locally. And the last thing I'll say is, so in addition to leading all this hiking, which I started in 1998 here in Chesterton, I'm now expanding the horizon beyond the dunes, beyond 75 local parks to around the country, to all county parks, all state parks, all national parks. And that's what is a gotakeahikeamerica.com. So this, it's just being launched in the beginning of February. I have the website now.
One of my questions, so since we've been friends, and I told Ron, well, I'm having some hip issues, but lately he's been messaging me that he's hiking. Did you go hiking today?
Yes.
You did.
So I go to there's a Shirley Hines property, and it's only about 1,000 feet from my house. It's 50 acres, so I go there all the time when everybody else bails on me.
I mean, the weather outside is frightful.
So as I always say, there's no such thing as bad weather. It's just ill-prepared hikers. So
Well, does shoveling help
Yeah.
and count? I mean, I feel pretty good out there. I got to get myself together.
Shoveling is a great exercise, and as well as if you have a large snow blower, maneuvering that thing around gives good upper body exercise.
So you've been doing this a long time.
So I moved to Chesterton for a couple reasons. One, to be around the dunes and lead hikes, but also to do photography. I have about 410,000 photos and videos of every season, every trail, every plant.
Don't you have a photography club?
I'm a member of the Duneland Photography Club, and I teach there. And in fact, I'm going to be leading a hike in February, which I'll publish that anyone could come to. Then you could hang around people who've got $10,000 Nikons, or I also am the specialist with the iPhone.
And if you were interested, how do people get a hold of you for any of these activities you're involved in?
So anybody can request a hike. All they have to do is to text 219-370-9119. So that's 219-370-9119. You could just, and it's everything I do is free forever, whether I speak, write, hike, whatever it is, it's free. So you could just text, say, I'm interested in hiking. Maybe you have a location, Indiana Dunes State Park, West Beach, whatever. You could give me a couple days and potential times. I'll connect with you and we'll hike. It could be one person who's had a hip surgery. It could be a church. I had 105 homeschoolers come. The other month ago, it was a nighttime hike, a full moon. There was 55 people there.
You know, I saw that would be lovely.
Yeah, I'm a specialist in the night hikes. Like no one does the night hikes like me. I also do.
Do you have flashlights and headlights and reflectors and all that?
Well, I have flashlights. One flashlight that's 35,000 lumen. That'll just light up everything. No one needs to have lights.
Oh wow!
But we when there's snow out there, we really don't need hardly any light. And if the moon's out, you never need light. The trails that I go. So
how did you become so interested in this? I mean, I think you were a few years older than me, but what did you think?
Real quick. So my parents never had a car on purpose. So our family of 7, we lived in Whiting, and we rode our bikes everywhere, every day of the year. And we used to go to the Dune State Park. We'd leave about 6 a.m. and come back about 10 p.m. We would hike, swim, run, eat. So it was like the first triathlon in 1968.
I was going to say, why weren't you guys all on the sports teams? We needed you.
Well, they wanted me on a sports team, but I didn't want to be under a schedule. It's like I'm not one that likes to be in a
Yeah.
classroom, or I just like to study myself. But anyway,
How did
so
it then get so related to like the religious studies?
okay, great question. So back in the early 80s, I was involved with a group which tried to help people in peace, like tried to teach peace. And so I started getting into the Bible, and so I took so many classes, and I'm a Bible collector, and I've been teaching really since about 1988. And because of the online presence now, which is so good, I have I speak to people all over the world, in Pakistan, India, different countries in Africa. So they're in great dire need of people electronically because they can't be known, they can't be in the public's
Mm.
eye because of persecution from different groups. So anyway, so I just kept going, and I helped with
Are
so
you a
many
past? Are
churches.
you a pastor or a
Well,
counselor? Or?
a pastor would be someone who is over a congregation. I'm not over a congregation. I would just say in ministry. I do lead, though, something called Church on the Trail. And so, Church on the
That's
Trail
right.
is
Right.
where we have people come, we pray, we talk about the word, we help counsel each other. It's like so Jesus didn't say sit, he said go. So we're the ones who go.
Well, I appreciate that. My mom really, really admired you as well. Um,
I loved communicating. We had a lot of messages back and forth.
yeah, I guess she was quite the gregarious girl, I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So David, I know you're being quiet over there, but I've missed you. And what have you been up to?
Oh my,
Weren't
I've
you on
been
a
up.
pilgrimage or something lately?
So I did go on a mission trip to Kenya with some side trips to Qatar and India and Ethiopia and Italy. So yes,
Amazing.
I've been traveling extensively. I turned 50 last year in March. So in my year of 50, I decided to do everything I could when I could. I had retired from working at the beginning of the year and just spent most of the year traveling. But then I met someone and we hit it off, and one thing led to another, and this relationship just blossomed, and now
Now
it's
you're
taken.
hunkered down.
And
Well,
so now
I
it's,
was
it is, taking its natural development course, and we're seeing
where that happens.
where
Well,
where that's going to lead. Yeah.
I was hoping you guys could come to Sunday. It's whether or not you're a couple or single. It's all these really nice things to keep your love and romance and loyalty alive, because in marriage, I think I've talked to Ron about this a little bit. I keep thinking Paul because you have a brother named that, but
Mhm.
it is something a love is a choice, and you have to work on it like anything. And I also feel that whereas, God is in your marriage, there are others that are always trying to break it down, and you have to be very guarded. And I don't know if I did enough of that. So it's like I trust them, and we're working, and we have the kids, and we have us. But any thoughts on that, Ron? Like how to keep like, and I heard
Well,
this at Indiana, like in teams that win. It's not just, sports. These are attributes that you apply to work and relationships. Go ahead.
so I've been married 43 continuous years, as I say, and I met my wife. She sat next to me in high school. She was the first girl that I officially dated,
Oh,
and Mrs. Gurgle's chemistry class.
this
So
is girl.
anyway, the key is communication. So I say never talk to someone when they're in another room, because you're gonna drop out here and there. You're gonna miss stuff. You should only talk to each other when you're in the same room, and you should be looking at each other in the eyes, because communication is far more than verbal. It's facial, it's through the eyes. So communication is just like paramount. And so I'm involved talking to so many people who've had problems in marriages or ended up in divorces, and communication was a common denominator that they didn't have it very well.
Well, how do you do that when you're working and raising kids? Because I think some of the problem was, well, yeah, I mean, we're doing all the hard work. And of course, the person at work is like, oh, you're the best. And oh, we can have fun. And oh, you're here with me for 8 hours of uninterrupted conversation. And like when you're home with your husband or wife, you're like, oh, so it is
Well,
tough. It's not for
so
the,
that's a great point, and many people struggle with that. They have 10 minutes of conversation with their wife or spouse a day, and they have, like you said, 8 hours with their coworkers. And but it all comes down to a faith to be biblically grounded. And so when you have a
a
faith,
covenant that you
yeah,
vowed to on the
yes,
altar to God that you
yeah,
should be
yeah.
thinking about.
Yeah, well, that is true, but I mean, just not you personally, but just a person needs to want to please God. They
Oh,
want to know how much He loves us, how He doesn't falter from that, and we should not falter from that with our significant other. And it's not easy, and we're human. We have failures, but we have as a Christian, you have the Holy Spirit dwelling in you, and the trick is to listen to Him. So many people are Christians, meaning they got a ticket to heaven, but they don't do anything here on earth. They're not listening to the Holy Spirit, and that's the sad part.
that's where I think because at the relationship, they're like, that was there is no God. There is, none of the 4A's were going on, but that didn't matter. It was mostly like, I want to be happy. And I'm like, it's joyful and from your blessings that you have to
Right.
cultivate. And there's going to be ups and downs. It's not about happy. I really like
And
Jordan Peterson and one of my other favorite guys, Joel Osteen. Gosh, I've got so many of them. Mort Bertel, but you have to stay in it.
one of the things that I specialize in is called the field of apologetics, which means explaining why you have faith. And so I prove to everyone beyond a doubt that the Bible is real. The Old Testament was proven to be real because the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered. And I go across the whole thing. I teach about the science and how evolution is just for people who are math challenged, because you can't possibly believe something can come from nothing. So just ask an evolutionist to keep going back and back and back. Where did the first particle come from? How was it put in motion? So anyway, if you ever want to know about
Combination.
creationism, that's what I.
Have you ever heard of Jimmy Evans?
Yeah, I've heard the name. Yes.
Yeah, he's a pastor, and he's studied. He's very historically. He did a lot for marriage counseling, but he also is a historian, or maybe even more than that with the Bible. And he was figuring out, like you were saying, scrolls and timelines, and what's happening and what might be happening in the future. So I told people they really need to start reflecting, repenting, and reconciling, because
Right.
it
Those are
could
great
be
words.
any day.
I mentioned mathematics, so I use a tremendous amount of AI. I developed AI back in the late 70s. I did stuff, but so you might have heard of Grok, which is Elon Musk. So on Twitter, or now what is called X, people were bragging about how long they ran a prompt for, like, oh, it took 500 seconds, 600 seconds. Well, Grok reposted mine. Mine ran for 9 hours and 30 minutes. And it was all about doing mathematics of Hebrew and Greek and connecting them all together. And nothing, as Trump would say, no one's seen anything like it. And it's true. So anyway.
Oh, goodness.
I would someday like to talk about how we know the Old Testament hasn't been corrupted, how we know the New Testament is mapped perfectly to the Old. And so that's a whole nother.
Yeah, I think that would be good for like the podcast, and we're
Yeah.
kind of developing that. I actually had, and I've mentioned this on the 20 minutes that went away, a conversation with Lakeshore Public Media, because besides the streams, we Spotify, radio, cable, broadcasting, which is public media, and then we're also working on having the show in different places that would host us, because I think this is really good information. And in today's world, you don't have these gatekeepers. And if people like what we're talking about, then you're going to get folks watching. And that's why, David has been really great about, teaching us different ways to put the information out there.
Right. I met with it's called the Everywhere Family. They travel everywhere in America and they do video blogging, and they have hundreds of thousands of viewers. And so anyway, I got to meet with them and do some hiking stuff. And so anyway, like you said, getting into different areas, you attract different people, and it's sort of like collaborating, so.
Yeah. And I think when I was talking to a candidate's friend about our region, we have almost 1 million people here. And whereas I'm not always like the title or the pay, I like to plant the seeds. And I'm hoping that we can get some other things here, like a show, or possibly more modes of transportation that are public, like from Gary, because I don't like going to O'Hare, or maybe a fast train to get these kids off of I-65 going back and forth to school. And I think with the talk of the bears, people are saying, wow, we can still have a balance. We can develop and beautify some of our areas that are struggling.
Sure.
So I'm kind of involved in a lot of meetings. And speaking of which, Mayor McDermott has a state of the city this Thursday, which I think is going to be pretty big. And then we're also talking about a gala coming up this year. And for me, it's more about like Northwest Indiana. But if you are running for politics, or your business, or just a personal message, I welcome that, because we need to be able to work together. We need to be able to talk about things, and we need to come up with win-win solutions. That's Stephen Covey. I love him too. So
yeah,
the thing that he puts in his book, there's the hard part. Like he's got the 7 rules of what is it?
7 habits of highly effective people.
Yes, there you go. Thank you so much. They're there, but doing them. And I think I really do, but I struggle sometimes, because you're like, it hurts me, it's hurting me, my feelings, or my physicalness. And how much do you sacrifice? Because that's a big question. I talk to a lot of people that have issues maybe within the family, and it's maybe there's some physical or there's some mental, and you try to help, but if they're not willing to help, it's hard on you. So that's like a whole other show as well. Like, I'm here to help. I know I have my own issues, but I am here to help because the norms of society are saying that this is not healthy. Like if you're doing immoral, illegal, or unethical. Now, illegal is pretty straightforward. Immoral and unethical, those are unethical maybe, but immoral, some people think this is okay and some people think that is okay. And they're both probably right and they're both probably wrong. So that's where the gray area is,
Sure. Well, if you base it on biblical truth, though, it's black and white. And so people are very illiterate about the Bible, and I won't go into it now, but if you have 3 wise men at the manger, you're wrong. The 3 wise men in the book of Luke, they came to a house over 1 to 2 years later. But anyway, there's just so many misconceptions.
Somebody said if there were three wise women, they would have had like like a bath going and, and fruit cooking. And that's just a funny little thought there, but it was a meme. I do pull that out a lot, though. I mean, when the kid's father left, I always like, people have a lot of single women have these pictures of like Kennedy, Jesus, Martin Luther King, because they have that you have to have like someone else there. And I would tell my kids, it's not me. Don't get mad at me. It's in the Bible. It's like one of the 10 commandments. And they're like, but you made me do it. And I'm like, no, Darvo, no. You know how the kids kind of, so.
So many people call it the 10 suggestions, that it's just, they don't realize how important it is and how once the family unit breaks down, society is right behind.
Yeah. And but the dad said, well, everybody is doing it. And I'm like, no, not, and it doesn't make it right. And when somebody leaves, then, the parents or the neighbors or the school or the government community, they all have to take that spot. And that's really not fair.
Right.
But we could go on forever on that stuff. But David, you have any thoughts on anything like anything else that's going on with you that we need to know about or, in the state?
Well, I was definitely gonna, say that at another time we can definitely go over that. There's a lot of stuff that I would like to discuss. I haven't really written much poetry lately, but just on the travels and the experiences I've had, I'm thinking about another book, so that's on the horizon.
So what is your poetry book? I remember that just went out onto Amazon. What was the name of that?
So that was called Poetry Snatches This Chalet. And it's available on Amazon. It's available on Goodreads. It's available a bunch of places.
And
but it was
your author name, tell us how you did that. Your author name was cool.
So my name is David Lane. My author name was Inal Divad, just my name backwards, because I felt like poetry was a mirror to my soul. And this whole book experience, the writing of it, the publishing of it was very cathartic for me. And, a lot of the feelings that I had struggled with that I was processing, a lot of that came out in the poetry. And so it was really just a labor of love to get it out. But that experience was so freeing and so liberating and just so amazing in so many ways that, I thought, okay, let me see if there might be another book in me. So we'll see.
Because you went through a relationship, and then I was also wondering, how's your mother doing?
She's doing much, much better. All of the health issues that she's been going through, she was able to bounce back from just about all of them. And we've unfortunately had some more deaths in the family this year already, and been through a couple funerals already. So
you have a big family.
I do have a big family. I do have a big family. So
when will I see you again?
That is a good question that I do not currently have an answer to, but you always see me on, social media or, through FaceTime or video calls or whatever.
And Ron, what do you have for us to finish up here?
Well, just make sure that you take a look at the website, go take a hike America.com, and that's going to be a portal about how to get people hiking, get them healthy. So many people struggle with all kinds of mental and physical health, and this is going to really help people. There's a ton of information that's going to be out there about how you could change your diet, get into nature, and just so many things. So that's what I'm really pushing.
Has it started yet?
Well, I have the website out there, and I have all the stuff that I have to publish to it, but February 1st was the official launch date of it.
Oh, perfect. So we're right on the cusp here.
Yeah, and if you wanted to see a list of public hikes, at indianaduneshiking.com is a list of public ones, but I'm doing more private ones than I am public, meaning people are contacting me all the time and I'm doing the hikes with them. But anyway, so
You're on social media, right? They can message you, right?
yeah, on Facebook, I
I
have 10,000 followers on facebook.com/Indiana Dunes Hiking, or my personal. I have a couple of personal ones, and Ron Seman, RONSEMAN.
Well, we welcome them to, watch and share and even, give and be on.
If you look at on GoTakeAHikeAmerica.com, you'll see about 50 reviews from people who've hiked with me, and they just, if you read the reviews, you'll want to come on a hike. That's all I can say.
Inspired. Okay, well, maybe when I can shovel out, we'll meet you.
Okay.
But we'll plan again, and I really like these party shows because we have about 50 people there, and we all get to talk, and then I can go around and I do little interviews on that, and then we share. The reels are going, the snippets, the cuts. I mean, there's so many ways nowadays, but it's a good thing. So I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for pulling us together, and I enjoy, and I'll look forward to anything in the future.
Okay.
We want to do.
Appreciate it. Thank you, David. Okay. We can talk offline too.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you all so very much for joining us here on Good Day NWI.